If your nib's too slow and your ink won't flow, here's one of the places that you can go. Larry is here to help you through with Mr. Announcer and Cubby too. It's Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews.
Well, I know Europe has opened up a lot of things. There are bands touring now. They're holding concerts in Europe. So I think there's a little more traffic there than there is here.
Okay. I mean, there's still one more pen show on the calendar. Detroit is actually still on the calendar.
I know it is. I haven't gotten an official word out of Dale yet.
You know.
I'm hoping it goes, but I have my sincere doubts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michigan, I don't think is going to permit anything of the sort.
Well, I know there is a virtual pen show every weekend on one of the Facebook groups. Actually, I think it's not virtual pen show. It's not the Instagram group. It's a different one. It's
weekly.
Yeah, virtual pen.
Yeah, weekly. Yeah.
Pen.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which that's mostly just me sitting and like drooling because there's some ridiculously gorgeous pens in those collections. But
yeah, I thrown a couple of stuff that I have like very little left of, or I'm trying to close out or something like that. Yeah.
I actually, Frank, I almost emailed you to buy that Tatcha.
Did you?
I did. I've been looking at I was a Covenant, and then you had the Spectrum, and I've been looking at those forever.
I love the Spectrum.
Yeah.
Spectrum's a good deal. It's a pen and the ballpoint, and I'm throwing in 2 bottles of ink.
How much?
Oh,
$1.50 and a half. It's like a $2.50 deal.
Jump on it, Eric.
What are you wanting to see, Liz?
I just dropped a lot yesterday, so I may have to think about this.
Liz at least went to go grab a couple. Here, I can show you this one. Do you like pink, Liz? Liz?
I do if she doesn't.
Liz.
Why not?
Uh-oh.
She does, yes.
There's Kara Overman's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that's
Look at
cool.
that.
We know Kara loves pink.
Jim's got a
the
pink
nib
nib. Look
That
at
is
that.
gorgeous. Yeah.
We're coating pink and purple now, right? Nice.
Good looking.
That's cool.
Nice.
Here's
sir.
anybody like brown and teal?
Oh, that's pretty.
That is nice.
That's really cool.
Hey, Jim, Kara's asking if you can show the pink one again. She didn't get to see the pink one.
Say something, Jim, so it'll get your video. Jim, say something so it'll pick you up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Kara.
She likes it.
I bet she does. The pink lady, the flamingo.
I got a couple others. Hang on.
Oh, he's pulling those up. Here's one that he
Larry.
custom made for me. A part of the custom side. He did a black clip on this Heimdall, and then he plated black a size 8 titanium nib. I don't know if you can see that right there. And then I don't know if you guys been able to see it recently, but we started putting the H finial coin on our pens.
That's cool.
That's different, yeah.
Larry's been complaining to me for 3 years.
What?
The finial medallions.
The finial medallion is a step up, guys.
Yep, that looks great. Yeah, that looks great, Jim. Finally.
So here, anybody like turquoise?
That's a good looking pen.
And then Frank, this is the first failed attempt at what we talked about for you.
Okay. This was still mostly top secret, but that's all right.
It came out more pink on the red side.
Yeah, there's no red at all, hardly. Yeah.
So we have a much better one Elise just poured. We'll be working on that this week.
Okay, very good.
And if anybody's been paying attention, our Mermaid series, this is the Magical Mermaid with pink.
That's cool.
And
Is that the one with the purple nib on there?
I don't think it's got a nib. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does. Purple nib. Oop.
That's cool. How does the coating on those hold up?
So, if you remember, FP Nibs used to offer them.
Yeah.
And that coating, if you had a real alkaline ink, it wasn't so good.
Okay.
So Noodlers, Private Reserve, definite no-nos. It could handle acidic inks fine. The one we have now, we've been slowly testing it with some of the more caustic Noodlers inks. So far, it's better. I talked to Pablo at length when he quit making them. Found out what he was doing, how he was using it. We researched like hell to find a similar product available here in the States, and we did. And I'm finding it's significantly more durable.
Cool. Very cool.
So we tested it for quite a while, invested a small fortune. The bright side, though, is I can do a lot of my own plating now. Nickel, gold, black titanium, rhodium,
Nice.
and this stuff now.
Are you going to be doing replating if people send you stuff?
I have not plated anything gold yet.
Okay.
It's on my list of things to try. I've done nickel, copper, the colors.
Awesome.
So as soon as I nail the gold and I'm sure, yeah, we can do some replating.
That's
That's
good.
gonna be cool.
Save you some money. That's why I said
Yeah,
the
I'll
money.
say there's not a ton of people who are doing that I've seen in the repair world, and I know that's a big like older, like I have a amazing writing Pelican from like the 1950s, but the clip is just busted to hell. It's lost almost all of its gold plating, and it everything else on it aesthetically looks gorgeous. It was just, if that could be replated, it'd be awesome.
Well, we can talk to me in about a month, and there's the distinct possibility. Right now, I've got a 14 karat plate solution. I can get 18, and I think I can get 24 pure.
Nice.
Wow.
I think that's, well, the 18 and the 24 are uber expensive.
Makes sense.
Not quite as expensive as rhodium, but still.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's something that we'll do if I don't screw it up. So far, it's a learning curve, but like anything else, like a good nerd, I have a book, and if I follow the instructions and play with it a little bit, I'm fine.
Very cool. What pen has everybody bought recently?
Oh, I got from Frank, actually, that I've been playing with, is my first Pelican, an M200.
Nice.
And, I like the nib, but it tends to get dry. If I don't write with it for a few days, it really is a hard starter, which is unusual because none of my pens seem to do that.
Yeah.
I think there might be a little extra airflow in the cap somewhere. However, it's very comfortable to write with, even given its size. I mean, here's one of the smallest, skinniest pens I have, and you can see the difference.
Wow.
Right?
That is tiny.
And for me, this is tiny. But, I reach for it almost as much as I reach for my Esterbrook.
And if you post it, it's actually not bad.
And that's what I do. I post that one. Now, I will show you guys one other pen. Hang on. I collect from other makers. And anybody familiar with Troy Breeding? Country made pens?
No.
No.
Okay. He's in Missouri. And he started about a year after I did.
I saw the thumb up to him.
But he and I have exchanged a lot of information over the years. But he loves engraving. He went to engraving school and is keyed off of it. And I got this Ebonite pen.
Oh, dang.
With
It's very cool looking.
gorgeous
That is nice.
bronze engraving wrap.
Crap.
All
That's
hand-
pretty.
Gorgeous.
Now, this one also suffers from drying out like the Pelican does, which I haven't quite figured out yet. But this is, here. You can tell I like big pens.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That pen had a keyhole breather, didn't it? Or a key breather hole.
It does, yes.
Yeah. They just always look neat. So it caught my eye.
You know, have you seen the what is it? The EKG one that Pablo does
Yep.
on the block nibs? I've been wanting to try that. I haven't done it yet, but
I had always been obsessed with the heart one. Like I don't know why, but I always thought that one was so cool. It was just like the heart and the keyhole. I think were really cool designs. I'm surprised more companies don't do shaped breather holes anymore.
yeah, I'm surprised. Pablo's a little unique. I mean, he does it all, soup to nuts. And I don't know if anybody
Platinum does it on theirs, don't they?
Huh?
I think Platinum does it on some of theirs, don't they?
Platinum, so that they do the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, not to take anything away from Mark. Mark does incredible work, but Pablo is, I don't know, he's a small master.
Jim, Liz had a question in the chat. Was asking if your color nibs are available currently.
For Liz, yeah, we can do something. I have not put them on the website to order yet because I don't have. I mean, I think I've only got like 75 nibs in stock, so I can't like plate 10 purple and set those aside. But for those friends of Larry and Frank's and whatnot, if you reach out to me, we'll do a colored nib one-off for you.
See, that's a point for everybody that watches this on replay.
No,
Don't pay attention to what's on the webpage. You call and ask anyway, because inventory is not always up to date.
Yep.
right, true.
I got this pen made. Mark Backus, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, this pen I didn't buy, but it was made for me by one of my good friends, Lisa, her husband, Lisa Saavedra's husband, and he made this pen for me. It's an Ebonite pen, and it's just simple Ebonite pen. But I've never had an Ebonite pen in 4 years of collecting fountain pens. This is my very first one. I was the only thing kind of shocked me was the smell. I wasn't prepared for that. But it writes great. And he did a great job. The tolerances are wonderful. For not being really a pen maker, he's done a real nice job of turning that Ebonite.
Yeah.
But it's real nice. I'm glad to have one. I've never had an Ebonite pen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
I have a lot that I don't I don't want to go through. But prior to yesterday, I got I don't know if you guys know Lucky Star Pens. Lauren Elliott it's a company that she's starting up.
Yeah.
So I grabbed 2 pens from her. One was the Dan Simons Candy Striper, which is actually a really cool pen. I saw it at the Baltimore show. His table was next to mine when we were doing the Share the Wealth table. And all day Friday and all day Saturday, I kept looking at it going, you know, you need to get a lemon stand to put, if you guys aren't from Baltimore, you won't know what that is. Sorry, there's a summer treat where you take a lemon, as weird as it sounds, and you like kind of squish it a little bit while it's still in the rind. And then you poke a hole and you stick a peppermint stick into it and you drink the lemon juice through the peppermint stick. It's like it's a carnival thing that's big in Baltimore.
Oh.
And I kept telling him that he needed to do this. And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I had to explain it. So I was like, I'm buying that pen on Sunday and I'm going to build a lemon stand to hold that pen. And I came back Sunday morning and it was gone. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And he goes, oh yeah. He's like, this really nice lady bought it. And I was like, I'm never going to see that again. And it was like 3 months later and Lauren put a picture up on her Instagram and I messaged her. I'm like, I hate you. I wanted that pen. And she goes, hold tight. I'm getting 10 of them made for my company. So as soon as it came up, I grabbed one. And then she did a second one that was a partnership with Franklin Christoph. And it was their 45, I think. It's the short little pen. But it was in diamond cast, like blue denim with a gray silver swirl grip section. It's really pretty. They're all downstairs, or I'd be showing them. I don't have them with me.
No, I was watching a thing I was gonna call you in a few minutes, but no, that's fine.
Mark, is that the maraschino cherry?
Yeah.
That's such a cool color.
That was it was I won the door prize at the Arkansas Pen Show.
Yeah, it's on the computer.
And
That reminds me
I just got it today.
That's awesome.
That reminds me a bit of Canalea's new pen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Adam,
Mark,
what did you
what's
get
that you
last
have?
week?
That's a copper Kasama. So this is a pen from the Philippines.
I love their grip section.
This
Francisco, we're gonna have to do that. I still got a copper rod I've been meaning to make a pen out of.
this weighs around 7 ounces, so about
Oh my God.
7 Pelican M800s.
God.
Kind of reminds me of that Kara's Custom that offers that same kind of grip.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this grip's a little different. And then they
Mark?
make a smaller pen called the Tala. This is called the Una, and they make a smaller pen called the Tala that has a different, slightly different grip.
Are those, Mark?
Yeah.
Are those Acme threads, square threads, or traditional?
They're like a traditional thread, but it's a little odd, you know, the way they're done at the end there, and then you know they go. It's like just enough room in the cap, you know, to hold the nib and everything.
Yeah, well, it looked almost like Franklin Christoph's, but they use like a modified square thread.
Yeah, yeah.
Which,
This is just more traditional type thread, but it's a little different.
It's not anybody.
Adam, what did you grab?
I got a couple pens this past week. The Armando Simoni Club Bologna Extra with the Magic Flex nib. Just love that pen. It writes like a dream. I've got it filled with some purple ink to contrast it. Monteverdi Purple Rain. And then the Aurora Oceana Indiana with a fine point filled with Private Reserve's Ebony Purple to match the purple pen. I don't know if the lighting's any good, if y'all can see it or hear me good or something, but I was surprised at how springy the nib on this thing is, because I'm more accustomed to Aurora's nibs being a little bit more on the stiff side, and this 18 karat nib is very, very fun to write with, in my opinion. And then the Homo sapiens Sedona Stream with just a regular old medium nib. I think it's their Palladium. So that was a fun one. It's the last batch of the celluloid from the Desert Springs and the Divine Proportion. So they just put it on this.
Nice.
Speaking of Visconti's, anyone have any? I got this little puppy here from
oh, nice.
The Lapis, and it's got the I don't know if you can see this. All right. Oh, I gotta find where the heck is the. There we go. That's an 18 karat. Anybody have any opinions on that new 18 karat? It's a Bach nib, is it not?
That's made in house.
They're in-house nibs.
Yeah. I love the new ones. They're phenomenal. They did a really good job fixing the quality control issue. I know we talked about this in the last call, I think. The new ones are awesome. Very, very, very happy with it.
Yeah, starting with the new Opera Master, the 18 karat in-house, and the new colored Homo sapiens are going to be 14 karat in-house. And I believe moving forward, all the Homo sapiens will be 14 karat. They're kind of following along with Aurora and making different tiers. And they're moving away from Bach. And, you know, as you guys know, in my article, my last blog, I did an article about gold prices and silver and all that, and effect of jewelry and pens in general and how it's affecting that, you know. So you're going to see, I think you're going to see a lot more makers move in-house because it's cheaper for them to stamp their own gold than it is to buy off of Yovo or Bach, you know. So moving forward, they're going to be making their own nibs in-house. I still have 18 karat Bach. I still have 23 karat Palladium. I am willing to sell them separately. I'm willing to sell them in pens. That's something that people can contact me, you know, back channel about and all, or email me about, you know. But I have them available, and I'm happy to put them in pens as well.
Very cool. Yeah, I've actually started to I like seeing companies that do stuff in-house. You know, it's cool when you have stuff that's like outsourced, and you know the consistency is there. Like, you know, I have a cross that I know the nib is made by Pelican, and you know I know it's going to be good, and it's consistent. I never had a problem with it. Same with Sailor. Like I know Sailor does nibs for other companies too, and you know that they're always going to be good. And that's I don't
it's
think.
Like Tasha.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was like when you look at the three big like Japanese companies. You have Sailor and Pilot and Platinum. They're all in-house. They don't outsource their nibs. And then you look at like a lot of the big European brands, and for a while everybody was making their own stuff in-house, and then gradually they got outsourced, and then they're starting to pull them back in. But like Mont Blanc's always made their own nibs. Lambie's always made their own nibs. And I think it's one of those things where if it's a selling point, like it's a marketing point, they're like, you know, we make everything in-house, or like, you know, everything is done here. The quality, you know, the quality control's there. It's not like you're having a third party who's making something and then shipping it to you, because things get busted up in shipping. Things don't, you know, settle right. They have to be redone. They have to be rechecked. They have to be put back together, as opposed to you turn to the person sitting at the station next to you and then hand them a pen and they put the nib in it. So that's why, like, I've never had a bad nib from Lamy ever. I've never had a bad nib from Aurora, and they're both very big on making their own pens and their own nibs in house. But
you say the big three in Japan about, you know, with making their own nibs, and that's what brought to me that's what made me realize that I actually preferred different brands making their own nibs, just because I started saying, you know what, the companies that I say I love using this pen, and because it wasn't like I was seeking something out, it was I realized one day the pens I was using the most, they're entirely different from one another in their experience, and you can feel it in how they're all made different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like even down to like the difference between the steel and gold nibs. Like I'm a big fan of Platinum, and in my opinion, and the other stuff that I've used, Platinum's steel nibs are just as good as their gold nibs. I've never had a bad one. Even like a preppy, like what, Frank, what, $4, $3, $4, something like that. Yeah,
I give them away as bonus. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
they're always good. They always write well. They, you know, they always start right. You don't have
I
hard
love
starts.
those. I use them every day writing.
They're great. But then, you know, like I have a 3776 that I love. It's one of my favorite pens, and it always writes well. Like out of the box, it worked perfect. I got I had one bad experience with Pilot. I got a Pilot as a birthday gift from my mom, which I didn't have the heart to tell her that there was an issue with it. But she had bought it, I think, off Amazon instead of going to a vendor, and it was a Japanese exclusive that she got, and the nib was cut wrong. It wrote beautifully left and right, and it wrote beautifully down, but if you tried to do an upstroke for cursive, it would not write at all. So I sent it back. I sent it down to Pilot in Florida, and like, oh yeah, this is only available in Japan, so we're not really sure, you know, how your mom got it. And I was like, Amazon, and they're like, we'll take care of it. So they sent it back to Japan. It was gone for like 6 weeks, and it came back, and now it's perfect now. Like it's flawless. But yeah, it's.
Hey guys, real quick, let me add this real quick. I'm a big Conklin fan. I like the All-Americans. Okay, that's that makes some great pens. So I was talking to Jim about I want him to make me a pen. He said, okay, what kind of pen do you want? Well, Jim knows I like all kinds of pens, so it's kind of, you have to tie me up and gag my mouth so he can make one anyway, because I don't know how to shut up. So anyway, so here's the Conklin All-American, stunning fountain pen, and it's really a beautiful fountain pen. It writes great. I like the size, I like the girth to it. So I was talking with Jim, and well, here's the one that Jim made right here. It has not as much girth in the barrel.
The Paladin, yep.
But yeah, and I named it the Paladin. Why Paladin? I'm a big Paladin fan. You know, Paladin, where do you roam? So here it is. And I tell you, this sucker's a killer that Jim made. I'm not just saying it because Jim's on here. The pen will speak for itself. It really is a killer. So, Jim, you nailed it. Thank you.
How's it compare between your Paladin and the All-American, size-wise in general?
The only difference between the Paladin All-American is the girth-wise. The barrel is more girthier on the All-American than the Paladin. The not the same, except the clip, of course, you know, the rocker arm on the All-American. But other than that, you know, they're almost cloned. But this is how I wanted it, and this is how he made it. So, I was right there. Remember, Jim? I was right there.
Oh yeah. But hang on, Frank. Just to let you know, when he did his 5 favorite everyday carry pens, that Conklin made it and mine didn't. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Oh man!
Wow, that's cold. That's cold. That's just called burn.
Oh man,
heavy, dude.
This is pick on Jim night.
Peace and love,
everybody. Between Nolo and Bach and all this.
Wow. For sure.
Kind of question. My very first pen was a Pilot pen, very first fun pen, Pilot Cocoon. And I put a cartridge in and it came with it, wrote wonderfully, extra fine with little feedback, smooth. And then I started, getting more inks. I put Diamine Emerald, wouldn't flow at all. Then I put, then I tried Manaveri Yosemite Green, lubricating ink, wouldn't flow at all. So I put the Iroshizuku, a Pilot ink, Iroshizuku Jaku. I have a bottle of.
A little bit taller.
It write wonderfully. It wouldn't write with any ink other than Pilot. Does anyone else have that kind of issue with Pilot pens?
I haven't, but I know that Diamine normally is a very, very, very dry ink.
Okay.
I know that it doesn't play well in a couple of the pens that I have that are dry writers. But I've never heard of Monteverdi not working in a pen. That's normally my go-to for wet ink.
Yeah, that's why I put it in. I thought that was
they got that lubricant to make it good.
Yeah. It's possible that there might be just dried ink in the feed, and that it might be kind of gunking it up a little bit. The only other
that I put Iroshizuku Kujaku right after Monteverdi, rolled just like.
I'll have to make that up to Jim.
I don't know. That's weird.
Maybe I don't know about Frank. I don't know about Frank, but I know Lisa at Van Ness has that. Was it White Lightning or something like me?
I got a bottle.
Very, very little of it.
Like I think maybe 2 drops. If that.
It will give your pen the runs if you use too much.
I offer Monteverdi's pen cleaner, pen flush, and I also offer the one from J. Urban. So
the White Lightning is actually
I have my own
additive.
flush. I'm good with that.
I'm kind of curious. We just recently lost the gal that was ran Private Reserve.
Yeah.
Is that company gonna?
Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, it was very tough. It was surprising. Poor Darla. It was a loss to the community. But yeah, she was in charge of Private Reserve, and it looks like the site's down, and it looks like there isn't going to be any more Private Reserve inks. So I ran my stock a long time ago, and I don't even have it on the site anymore. But if there is a favorite color that you like, and you see it with a vendor, you should pick it up.
Yep.
Because it looks like there's not going to be any more.
I'm pretty sure Dale Pencala, he was really close with them.
Yeah.
I know he still has some ink. I don't because I talked to him because him and Darla were really good friends.
Yeah.
And I talked to him like last week. Cause that was the question I had is what's going to happen with PRI? And he's like, I have no clue. But I know that he made a comment to me that he still has a bunch of the inks that he had picked up from her because he was getting them for the Detroit show. So he might still have, if there's a color that you're looking for, Dale might still have it too. But yeah.
That Super Show Blue, that DC Super Show Blue is a great color.
So pretty.
Yeah.
The green apple that they made, that's the first time I've actually liked a green ink. I'm sorry, Adam, I know. But it was the first time I actually liked a green ink. And then I got a bottle of that, and then they're very, very similar. They're not the same shape, but very similar. Is that Monteverdi Key Lime Pie from the Sweet Life series. Is pretty close. It's not as dark. It's kind of harder to see on really bright paper, but the green apple, oh my God, that it's one of those where you put it in a pen just because you want to see people's reaction when you pull out like a pen to sign something, and it's like neon iridescent green.
I like the blue suede. Yeah,
that's good. That's a good color.
Blue suede.
The purple was good too.
Yeah. I like your Daphne blue. That's a good color, turquoise. I got like 2 bottles on the shelf over there.
Yeah, they had some awesome colors. They had one that was called like Sonic Blue that came out, and it was like the DC Super Show, but it was more vibrant, and it was awesome. Such a cool color.
Sonic Blue from Private Reserve has got to be one of the best, and nobody pays attention to it.
No, it just flew under the radar when she brought it out.
It screams almost to the point of obnoxious.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, no, I saw that was a surprise. I mean, Darla was cool. She was at I think it was the Baltimore show last year or year before last. That wasn't this past year. And she had a table set up, and Private Reserve was the first ink that I ever bought. That was back when oh God, what was his name? Spear Bob. I don't even know what his real name was. He had an eBay shop called Spear Bob, and he would show up at the show with just a table of ink and just random pens. And he would do 4 bottles of Private Reserve for like $15 or something ridiculous.
I think he's down here in Rock Hill, isn't he? South Carolina?
Yeah. I know he moved to the Carolinas.
Yeah.
And I just remember like when I was back, that was back at the time where I was like, I'll never spend more than $5 on a pen. Ha! Yeah. And I was like, oh, look at this. I can get 4 bottles of ink for $15. This is great. And I would just raid his table every time I would go to a show. And I've still got like 20 or 30 bottles of ink from him of just every different color of Private Reserve at the time. And out of that whole original batch, only one I had go funky.
Another great thing coming out, I like to call it Pens in the Pipeline when I do my newsletter and all.
Yeah.
Laban Ink is finally doing inks, and there'll be 5 colors based on Greek mythology heroes.
Huh.
So they're going to have brown for Demeter, blue Artemis, orange for Apollo, the sun god. Aphrodite's going to be pink. And I'm missing one more. Aqua, yes, Poseidon.
Very cool.
Frank, in last month's meeting, or the last meeting we had, I think you were hinting very heavily about something coming out that you weren't able to really say yet. Is that been released? And I haven't.
It was the Esterbrook JR. It was the JR pen that Eric and I were kidding around about because it was in the possession of people, and he knew that. And he was like, can you get me a pick? I'm like, yeah, I can Friday morning.
Well, if Frank, if it makes you feel any better, I messaged Mr. Fountain Pen Day himself and said, hey, so I know this is coming. Can you send me some pictures of it? And he ignored my message until Saturday morning and then texted me. I was like, really, dude, come on. He's good at keeping secrets, unless you're at a pen show. And then it's, hey, come around the table. Let me show you what I got.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you were like the worst pusher ever.
Ken Rowe found the right guy with carry.
I love it. He's been fun. He showed me a couple cool things. There was one that I was really hoping they were going to come out with, and I know he showed it off at the Baltimore show last year, or like 2019. They were looking at doing, it was almost like Mark's blade design, and they were trying to come out with a custom grind to offer on one of the pens, but they were going to call it like the Samurai. And he was like, we're trying to get this. He's like, we're looking at doing this. We're going to do it in steel. We're going to do it in gold. It's going to be awesome. And da-da-da. And it never panned out. It was the line that he had come up with, and it didn't take off.
Okay.
And but like I asked him at the last show, I was like, do you still have that nib? And he goes, oh yeah. He's like, that's not leaving my collection. He's like, I think it's freaking awesome. I was like, can I get one? He's like, no. He goes, there's one, and it's mine.
They have really collaborated. I'm sorry. They've collaborated with Custom Nib Studio, and they do
that journaler.
The journaler nib. Yeah.
Yep. which is really cool.
In the Ovo, in the SD pen.
It's actually really funny because when I got I did a review of the Esterbrook, the SD when it first launched, the Cobalt Blue Oversize, and he gave me one of the MV adapters with just a random. He just grabbed one of the renewed points and just chucked it in the bag and was like, "Do the review," and it was actually what the journaler nib is based on.
Oh man!
So it's a fine stub renew point. And it was funny because when I saw their post come up about it, I was like, that looks really familiar. So I went over to my pen drawer and I pulled it out and I was looking at the nib and I was like, hold on. So I inked it and I wrote for a second and I was looking at their writing sample and I was like, and I texted Carrie and I was like, is that based on the fine stub nib? And he goes, yeah. And I just sent him a picture. He goes, did I send you that? And I was like, yeah. He goes, that's funny as hell. And I was like, well, I got the original.
Yeah, they would just send you nibs when they first started. It was like random. They didn't even care if they were, 2000 series or 9000.
Oh yeah.
People still don't know what that means half the time.
No.
Yeah.
There's a couple questions from Liz in the chat room. Sorry.
Okay. Anything for us? Let's see.
It said, what were you showing, Jim? And Brian, do you have any new stuff to show? You always have cool notebooks.
So what I was showing was when we're talking pen flushes, we have one now.
Oh, nice.
It's mild. It'll work well with the colored nibs too. It's on the website.
That's very important. Safe for the colored nibs. Yeah, definitely important. Yeah, good. Because you keep reiterating all the time when you send stuff out to don't use the following inks with these. Yeah.
Yeah, I send out a little info sheet, and as much as I like the colors Private Reserves offers, and when I first started, some of the noodlers, their color density is great, but they're very caustic inks.
Yep.
So not healthy for vintage pens or my colored nibs.
Makes sense.
Very good.
And she also asked if Brian has any cool stuff to show or cool notebooks.
I think he left.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I don't see him.
Brian Freelander? Yeah.
He's always got something good.
Hey, has anybody in here ever used Midori paper?
No.
Yes.
I love it. I love Midori.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Travelers. Yeah.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Every day.
So I've been looking at getting one of the 5-year journals that Hobonichi does, and I'm not a huge Tomoe River fan, but their 5-year journal was like $90-something. Well, no, I like it. It's just it's not my go-to. I actually really like Marmon paper, which it's hard to find here. I won a contest through their Instagram or something. They sent me like a whole brick of like their notebooks, and their paper's freaking awesome. But I was going to get one of the Hobonichi 5 years, and it was like $85, and I was like, do I really want to like put that kind of money out for a journal? And then I saw that Midori has like the exact same thing for $35, but I've never used Midori paper, and the reviews are really weird. Like some people are like, oh, it's the scratchiest, worst paper I've ever used in my life, and other people are like, oh, it's smoother than Tomoe, and I'm like, how can that? How do you have that kind of review?
Okay, check this out, guys. I just made a few Tumble River paper journal notebooks for my traveler notebook right here. Oh, they're blank. I just made them. So very simple to make. Excellent paper. And Eric, later I'll get your address so I can send you some Tumble River paper so you can judge for yourself how good it is. And it's going to knock your socks off.
Yeah, I love Tomoe River paper, and I've sent them to Larry too. I do Tomoe with the Tomoe River USA distributor called Lion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sell pre-made notepads and notebooks. Also, I do the Nebula notes through Tomoe River, and I also do the endless journals.
Yeah, I just showed that.
Maybe endless journals, a recorder. Yeah, they're real nice. Yeah. They're 68 gram.
Really nice.
How does that compare to the Midori? Like, is it?
Larry, you can take that question because you have the Midori.
Yeah, they're almost about the same to me.
Okay.
I've got the Midori. I've gotten a couple pads of Midori. The cotton paper is a little bit more textured and a little more, maybe not as smooth as just the regular Midori paper that I get. I've got a Midori pad. I bought, I don't remember if I bought it from Anderson. The A5 pad, the A4 pad and writing pad. I use that for writing letters. I like it. I love Midori paper. So far. I'll tell you what, I don't know that the Midori's, I think Life paper is still my favorite, a much better, I like it better than the Midori.
I have some Midori notebooks and they're around here somewhere.
Well,
but to me, the Midori and the Tumble River paper are about the same. A little different than Midori, but
when
the
he's
flavor
talking about,
for me, the flavor on the Tumble River paper just really, is what I like the best of all.
Okay.
when Eric's talking about the wildly different reviews and what he hears about how smooth or not the Midori paper is, pay attention to what paper is in the notebook you're looking for. Some of what they put out has the Tomoe River paper. Some has a cotton rag.
Right.
The cotton rag paper is still nice to use, but it is a much toothier paper.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
More absorbent too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, exactly. You're not going to get shade and or sorry, not shade, but you're not going to get your shimmers and sheens and that stuff to come through in it. It's great paper, but it's much more toothy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That makes sense.
Regular plain Jane Midori paper is great.
This box here, full of it. Tomoe River paper, baby. Full of it.
Eric,
Yeah.
you tried this?
I have a couple sheets of that I've tried.
I got some of that. Yeah, I got some of that. I got notebooks out the gazoo.
Larry, is that their new paper or the old paper?
It wasn't Gazoo on the Flintstones?
That's the old Tomoe River paper.
Yeah, the Midori 5-year. Actually, I just pulled it up to see what they say it's made from. They say, actually doesn't say what it's made from. It just says ivory colored. I pulled it up off of Jet Pens to see, because I haven't found the journals in a lot of places, but I know that Jet Pens carried them. But it just says ivory paper. It doesn't even say what kind of paper or what weight it is or anything like that.
Maybe shoot them an email, see if you can get an answer.
Yeah.
So Lion has assured me that their Tomoe River supply is still good. It's still the old style. They can assure me it's still 52 gram, no problem. The endless recorders are 68 gram.
Yeah.
You know, it's the paper that comes in different variations, so that's not touched. I don't know about the Nebula notebooks. I don't know about them. As far as my stock is still the old 52 gram, no problem.
Okay.
So that's the three Tomoe River products that I offer. Of course, besides Rhodia and using Clairefontaine paper, you know, I also offer this to flexibles from Mazzoli from Italy. That's 90 and 100 gram paper, which is also pretty decent. I also have something new from Nuna from Germany, Nuuna, Nuna notebooks. They use 120 gram Munken paper, Munken. Which actually pretty friendly. Yeah, it's pretty ink friendly. I had my sample here for people. Of course, it didn't survive the Sharpie test, but that was good. But otherwise, no bleed through, no problem with regular fountain pen ink.
Nice.
And this is from Germany. It's called Nuna notebooks. So Nuna notes. So 120 gram Munken paper.
That's pretty cool.
So it's back here. Let's see. Yep, manufactured in Germany. Munken paper is proprietary from Swedish. Yep, Swedish. I knew it was one of the Scandinavian countries. Made of Swedish Munken paper. That's Munken. They are thread stitched and bound in extraordinary cover materials. Okay, yeah, they come in pretty cool covers. I have leather covers. I have PVC covers that are shiny in different colors, which are pretty cool. They're all on the site. So if you're looking for different color, paper and stuff like that, that's something else to look at.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just starting to get into paper now, and I've been doing journaling during the entire shutdown. But I've been using I don't remember what the journal is now. I can't think of what it is. It's paper blanks. Paper blanks. I picked it up. It was like on sale for $1 at Michael's when I was there the one day, and it's surprisingly fountain pen friendly, but. It's super thick paper. It's not anything really pleasant to write on. It's just it's a lot more feedbacky than I like. The Maramin ones were really good, and then I got a couple of the Atoya Oasis books, and those are like writing on glass. Like it's almost like it's hard to control your pen. They're so smooth. They're amazing, but they're just like super smooth.
Here's something that's very interesting that's recently changed, right? So because this is all like back of the page and screwing around, but this is a moleskin notebook that's not bleeding.
Really?
It's not. Yeah, it's like look. The ghosting is normal ghosting.
Yeah.
Right. It's only a couple times touched the page underneath. It's not bleeding through, which has shocked the hell out of me. Right.
Huh.
I think Moleskin might have fixed their paper. It might be. So this is what is it? A5 size. And I got it because basically, people always ask about the crappy papers, and you're like, fine, like quit forcing crappy paper, but whatever. So I've been playing with this, and I have been shocked at its performance.
That's pretty cool.
Does it say what the gram count that is in it?
I didn't see a gram count on it.
Okay.
What nib size were you using on there?
What is that?
What nib
I'm
size?
I'm using fines, mediums, broads. Sometimes the broads are actually stubs or zooms, so it's going everything from, I've had a Pelican double broad on here.
Damn.
I've only got 1 or 2 spots where it actually touched the next page.
Huh.
Wow. Back in the day, I used to use moleskin a lot, but it just bled through, even on.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, look, it's not coming through.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try it. I'm going to go to the store then.
I'll have to look into that too. Like, cool.
I need to check it out.
And it's the old complaint. Basically, this doesn't even feel like, the paper doesn't feel the same as their old pocket-sized notebooks felt. Now, maybe the pocket-sized notebook and the A5 size notebook are actually manufactured in 2 entirely different places, which is possible.
Okay.
So then the paper's entirely different.
All right.
Does it feel coated?
No, it does. It's definitely not coated. I'm going to say it performs much more like a Leuchtturm.
Okay.
It's
a little bit of tooth, but still good.
I still occasionally, depending on, like if I have a wet pen, I get some feathering a little bit, but it's not obnoxious. It's not huge. If you're looking and you're used to looking for it, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not used to looking for it, you probably don't even notice it.
That's awesome.
I think Moleskin's turned a corner and started making good notebooks again.
Nice.
Let's check that out.
Overall, I do like moleskin. Affordable price is okay paper, and if they corrected it on the ones that I use for journaling, cool. But I'm definitely going to check it out. I'll probably go to Barnes and Nobles and check that out this week.
Yeah, and this one, and I'll show you, because this isn't, like, this is, trying to think, this is a real thick notebook.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you look at it, this is with an 823 in front of it. This is a thick notebook.
Wow.
So this isn't just the 100 or so page one that they've had.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I meant to check that out. I have like 3 Barnes & Noble gift cards burning a hole in my wallet that I've been trying to think of what to do with. So
you can send them to me.
Send them over to Larry.
Yeah, I take food stamps too.
Well, I was gonna get moleskin notebooks and send them to people just to make enemies, but apparently now they're doing better paper.
A couple of years ago, on the real side, moleskin was a dreaded paper for fountain pen people. They hated it. They didn't like it. They cut it down. And so, a short story, when I got a moleskin for my journal, it bled through. And so I got a hold of the people, and I told them, and I sent them some pictures, and they sent me another one like I had, but it did the same thing. So I just said, thank you, and left it alone.
Yeah, but sometimes we have to let old reputations just be that, the old reputation.
Yeah.
If Visconti's fixing their nibs, let's not make a big deal out of it.
Yep.
I just used the next page. I just used the front next page and done with it.
But like when I first started using this, what I was doing to be able to, because I'm like, all right, if you really want it. So I'm putting printer paper between the pages so I can show all the bleed through and not lose half the notebook. And I was page and page and page and not getting it. And I was like, holy crap, they fixed it.
Nice.
Huh, that's very
Now I'm
cool.
curious. Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
Of course, they'll never live that old reputation down.
No.
I'll carry it if it's like that. If they're all like that now, yeah.
Well, that's reputations. Like once you have like that kind of like tribal knowledge, it's tough to break it. That was one of the things, like with Conklin for the longest time in Monteverde, they had terrible nibs. Like, I mean, I told Neve and Yair that every time I saw them at a show, I'm like, you need to fix your nibs. The nibs suck. And they finally switched over to Yowo, and the nibs are amazing. And you know, everything that's coming out now is all the new nibs. So like, it's trying to fix that perception. Like Twisby went through the same thing where everybody's like, oh yeah, Twisby's break, they're junk, they crack all the time, you have to send them back and get new part. And you know, that hasn't happened for a long time. But that's that tribal knowledge where when people, like, you know, say in a Facebook group, hey, what does everybody think about this? And you know, this brand, and oh, this and you know, it's all these horror stories that they heard for years but haven't really been true in 10 years. But you know, that's what, oh well, this happened to a friend of my friend back, you know, 10 years ago, so it's still valid.
You do reviews, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So one of the things that like to really focus on, like, because I try to pay attention to it, and I've had inks that had floaties or sinkers in it, and I'll sit there, and if it has floaties, I'll do this. And it sounds horrible, and I don't mean it to sound horrible. I kind of was happy when other ink brands had an issue with some of their inks turning.
Yeah.
Because Private Reserve had a very bad rap for that, and it's like they had a bad batch.
Yep.
But you know, if you look at the Lamy 2000, everybody complains about the ears, and I'm like, is it that big a deal? It was a big enough deal that before I bought one, everybody complained about it, and it made me wonder if it was going to be a problem.
Yeah. No. And no, I wholeheartedly agree. And that was one of the things. It's like, for me, it's if a company's going to stand behind what they make and they're going to make it right customer service wise, you know, like crap happens. Like, I totally get it. That's why they had the issue. Was it like last year where Conklin had a whole bunch of their inks went bad? They had a bad batch that came over, but then they set up like, hey, shoot us an email, we'll send you free inks, no big deal. They replaced everything. And yet people still harp on that now. And I was like, they made it. You didn't even have to send them proof. You just had to say what ink you had, and they send you a new bottle for free. Like,
I had people bring up, and they were like, oh, I had this ink. And like, they ask, you know, because they think an ink turned. And I'm like, well, what brand is it? And they told me, I said, why don't you just go ahead and send them an email?
Yeah.
And I said, this was old, but chances are they're going to realize that bottle's been sitting and just make it right. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, big question in chat. Anybody tried?
I've had a few bad ones, so I got a hold of Christina, who I deal with at Yaffa, and she has taken care of me. You know.
Yeah, she's great.
Super great. I have on order 3 or 4 because I'm changing over that I bought, but she already sent me 3 free replacements on some new pens that I had that the nibs were bad, but you know, they're outstanding. The service I think is outstanding. So can't go wrong.
And most people don't even realize they offer a lifetime warranty on all their pens.
Yeah.
They do.
So you can't go wrong with the offer. I think anyway.
No, I wouldn't be helping out as an ambassador with them if I didn't like their product.
Guys, there's
that's right, you are. Yeah, there you go, Eric. Yeah.
Dan has a question
There's
there.
a guy I'd like to ask a question in chat for the second time already.
What's up?
Did anyone try Tumble Mary notebooks from Australia?
No.
Me neither.
I haven't heard that one.
Norm?
What happened?
Norm, any comments on that?
Yeah, can you hear me? I don't know that this mic's working.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good.
I'm good. No, look, I didn't hear Stan properly, and no, repeat it, please, Stan, because I didn't catch it first off.
Tumble, wait a second. It says Tumble Mary. Or Tumble.
No, I know nothing of it. I'm sorry.
No, anyway, it's a brand in Australia. That's why I figured maybe. Yeah, sorry.
I know nothing of it. But since you can hear me, after you've finished talking what you're talking about, I'll mention something else about Nibs. But you continue to talk about what you're doing.
Okay.
All good. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay. I bought I won't give you the brand, but a while ago I bought a Grail pen, and it had a weird feeling nib. I couldn't describe it, but I let somebody else in the community try it, and they described it as a chalky nib. Now, I washed it out 2 or 3 times with pen flush and everything else, and eventually it's largely corrected itself. But I was very, very close to returning the pen because it had a very, wasn't dry, it was chalky is the best verb to describe it. Has anybody heard of anything like that at all?
To me, that would sound like almost like the tipping wasn't right. Like it was just like, it wasn't scratchy, but it was like, it was kind of smooth, but it like stuck as you wrote.
It was a weird feeling. I mean, I've played with fountain pens since I was a kid. I learned to write with them. I've never had anything like this at all. But it's corrected itself after about 3-4 fills. So I don't. You're probably right. It probably was a texture in the tipping, but I've never come across it before.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's all right now. So no problem.
Now can you name the brand? Now that it's okay.
No, look, I'd better not. But it's a well-known brand, and it's fine now. It's basically my pen of choice.
Oh,
as long as it's not a Bic Crystal, it's fine.
No, certainly not.
Hey, so
all I could think is if you said it basically corrected itself in a few fills. I'm actually wondering, was it used or was it brand new when you got it?
No, it was brand new when I got it. I've tried several inks in it. I tried washing it out. I pulled the nib out, which largely gives it away what it is. I did everything I could to make it right. And as I said, I was very close to taking it back to the shop. I didn't because I sort of know the people in the shop. I didn't want to upset them. They'd done nothing wrong. But to my pleasure, it's sort of corrected itself now, so everything's good.
I would kind of think that you might have just had some manufacturing oils left that were just being...
That's really what I was thinking, oil coating.
Yeah, that they were, because if it corrected itself with some fills...
It fleshed it out, fleshed itself out.
Yeah, it just took a while to get it all to go.
And it wore off.
Well, you're probably quite right. All I can say is I thought I flushed it out and put it through the ultrasonic cleaner and, did everything. But, eventually it has corrected itself, thankfully.
Good.
So thanks, guys. I'd never come across it before. I just wondered if anybody else had.
Yeah, that's cool. It's weird. I haven't, no.
All good. Thank you.
I have a question. I'm looking for a carrying case, about 20 to 24 pen carrying case. Any advice? Which one's your favorites, or which one?
I sell Girologio, and their 24 count case is really the best selling SKU that they have. It's the #1 seller. It comes in 4 different finishes. They are leather, and they're really nice. It comes black leather, oxblood, which is, like a nice burgundy. And they have like a suede finish in both bomber, dark brown, and saddle in lighter brown. So they're there on my site. And I'm sure there's other ones too, but that's obviously the one that I have to offer in that 24 count. But they're very nice.
Yeah,
Speaking of that, go ahead.
I was looking at Girologio Oxblood or Galen Leather 20 pen case, but
okay.
But I'm not sure, I don't know if there's any other that you think are really good. I would listen. I'm trying to do research.
I know I did a review for Yak Leather, which is I think that's an in-house brand for Pen Boutique in Columbia, Maryland. Lena, I'm almost positive Lena has them made for the store. But I will second Frank's with Girologio. Those are phenomenal cases, beautifully made.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's I think Jaffa has a 24 pen and maybe a 48 pen case as well. I'm pretty sure. I know Adam had to drop. I know I'm pretty sure Adam has a 24 pen case from them. But yeah, the Girologio ones are awesome. Like,
There you go.
really
There you
good.
are. Stan. There you go.
Is that a Yafa?
No, this is Girologio. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Really, really nice.
Yeah, I got a few of those.
Speaking of that, Frank, have you talked to our buddy Mario? Is he doing all right? I mean, I know that no website and no pen shows have got to be kind of tough on him.
Yeah, he's. I have chatted with him on Messenger and all, and such, an email and all, and he seems to be all right. Missing pen shows as we all are, you know.
Sure.
Well, I think he's posting on that weekly show, isn't he?
Yes,
a little bit.
He's doing the Facebook fountain pen buy and sell.
Cool.
Yeah. So he's doing.
He almost got me on that Montegrappa Fortuna a couple weeks ago. It popped up my feed, and I went, "Oh!" And I just sat there for a minute. And I went, "No, I can't.
Should I hold that Tashi set for you?
No. I don't want to say how much I put out yesterday, but it made me uncomfortable.
Okay.
We'll just say that.
What your wife said, Eric. Yeah.
Our discussion was, as long as I can get my money back, it's okay.
This is on tape too,
Yeah.
so
she trusts me. I've had pretty good luck with picking up and flipping pens. In small, there have been a couple that I've kept because they've been really kind of funky, and I don't want to get rid of them. The one that both I'm not gonna say the names because we're recording. 2 different store owners have tried to buy off me in the past 3 years. I got a Sailor 1911 Imperial. It was before the 1911 became a model for Sailor. Sailor did a run for Levenger, and it was called the Sailor Imperial for Levenger. They did it in 3 colors. It was 1,000, I believe, in green, 500 in blue, or 300 in blue, and 300 in white. And they all came with Nagahara Emperor nibs. That were made by the owner of Sailor at the time. So it's their regular nib, but it has a gold overfeed on top of it. So the nib never dries out, essentially. Like, you can leave it uncapped for an hour and it'll still write. And I was at an estate sale, and I just in passing said to the woman, I said, "Oh, do you have any fountain pens?" And she said, "Oh yeah, my mom used to love Parkers," and she opened up a cigar box, and there was like 10 Parker 51s, but they were all, it wasn't anything that I really wanted, and they were rough condition. And she goes, "Oh, there's one more one, hold on." And she comes back and she goes and like pulls off this cap from 1911, and I'm like, "Don't think it's supposed to do that, but let me take a look at it." And I knew it was a Sailor, and I was like, okay, I know the brand, I have no clue what the model is. And I said, "How much do you want for it?" And she goes, "It's a pen, $20." And I was like, "Okay." And I gave her the $20 and left, and it didn't even click what it was. And I got home and I sent a picture to one of my friends, and I said, "Hey, do you know what pen this is?" And I got a text back that said, "I'll give you $500 for it."
Whoa!
And I said, "Wait, what is it?" He goes, "All right." He's like, "You're gonna play hardball? I'll give you $600 for it." And I'm like, "I don't know what it is." Like, let's talk about this. And it turned out it was it wasn't a pop cap. It was supposed to unscrew. The glue had come loose, so I had that redone. But it was this particular one was in white, and it's extremely hard to find because it oxidized really quickly and got really funky. And the one I had was like crystal clear, still white. So I had two different people in the community have been trying to buy it for me for like the past 5 years now, and I still use it at work. And every once in a while, I'll just take a picture and send it to them. I'm like, "Hey, what do you think of this pen?" And they're like, "Shut up, just sell it to me."
Brian Anderson, is that one of them?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he at the first show he offered to buy it for me, and then Lisa yelled at him and said that he can't buy it for me, and then pulled me aside to try to buy it for his anniversary, I think. But I finally saw one at the Baltimore show this past year. There was a guy at the table behind me who was selling one, and I think he ended up selling it for like $600. So, and he goes, it's serial number like 299 out of 300, and I was like, mine's like 102. I was like, would you like? He goes, "You want to sell me it?" I'm like, "No." It's cool. It's just a funky pen. Like, I don't want to get rid of it.
Getting close to 8. Yeah.
We'll have to go, boys and girls out there.
Yeah, I gotta drop too.
Laying.
Yeah. Hey guys.
But we'll do it again.
8 o'clock. So I'm gonna have to split because my dog's here and he's needing some food.
Is he okay? Good. How's he doing? All good?
He's right here. So.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, hey guys, thanks for joining me today. We got to do this again, okay?
We'll do it again.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining me.
Nice to see you, everybody. See you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys. Have a great week.
So much fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Larry. Thanks for having us.
See y'all later.